Hey guys, welcome to another episode of A Drummer's Guide to. So, I wanted to address something today because I've been getting a lot of comments recently, especially over the last few months, about my things like my social media output, the fact that I'm running a business, emilydrums.com, as well as running an online course, which is called Remote Recording Business Course, and as well as doing The Voice Kids. And next year, I mean, it should have been this year, but next year it'll be Kim Wilde, touring with Kim Wilde, and all this like social media, putting stuff out on there, doing these videos, all that sort of stuff. And the question I get asked the most is, how are you doing it all? So I thought that I would just address that really, because I feel like people think that it's some like magic. I don't know, not magic, but they think it's some sort of like dark art or something like that about how I'm able to keep stuff running in tandem with each other. And don't get me wrong, I have my moments of being overwhelmed and having a lot going on and having to strip stuff back. I mean, I feel like I'm in a constant state actually of sort of doing stuff and stripping stuff back, but that's fine. But I wanted to just talk about how I'm able to do that, and it's a really simple idea, it's a really simple concept, and that is having a routine. Isn't that sexy? Isn't that rock and roll? I like and I have a routine that I follow that means that I can focus on different parts of me as a business owner, as a brand, I suppose. That means that I can keep putting stuff out there. Oh, I have STEM Club as well. I forgot about that. So, see, I didn't have a routine about doing this, did I? And actually, writing out all the stuff that I have going. Yes, Drum STEM Club as well. Yeah, but what it means is that I can focus on these things with allocated amounts of time. Like right now, I'm recording this. I've done a batch of these. This is the third one in this batch, I think. In fact, you can probably tell because the background has slightly changed, as has my hair from the last video, the last bunch of videos. I usually do them in 4s or 5s, but I do that once a month, and that takes me one day. Well, I say one day, it probably takes me 3 or 4 hours at least to edit them. Uploading them seems to take longer. I need to work out a system to upload them quicker and more effectively. I like a good system as well. But anyway, let's talk about routine. Forget about systems. That's another video for another day, and actually quite a good idea. Okay, so routine. And routine is a really funny one because, for me at least, because it turns out I'd had a routine for many years, especially when it came to drumming. I mean, we all do. I'll go into this in a second. I need to stop talking around things. And then when I lost my routine for a few years, and I was miserable. I found everything very difficult, very overwhelming. I had no direction, and coming back, I've basically come full circle. That's what I'm trying to say. So when I started out playing the drums, I was 11, and I've mentioned that many times, and if you've seen any interviews with me, you will know the backstory about, starting out. I was in school, there was a note in the register for a drum club. I went there. That was the day that I met my best friend Cherie Sosay, who is also a drummer right now. I say right now, she's also a professional drummer. She always will be, because once you're a drummer, you are never not a drummer. But what we would do every day, I mean, obviously we all had this. You go to school, you have a routine. You go, especially secondary school, you have a timetable that you have to follow every day. 5 different periods, different subjects every period, breaks in between. Great. What I actually didn't realise was me and Cherise had added periods, I suppose, to our day. So we would come into school around about 7 o'clock in the morning. We would play drums for an hour, and then we would get on with our day, and then at the end of the day we would then go and play more drums. But what that meant was, no matter what was going on, no matter what, unless we were sick and not coming to school, every day we would be in that drum room holding sticks behind drums, playing, chatting to each other, trading ideas, all that sort of stuff, every day from 11 till 18. So 7 years every day for a couple of hours. And I didn't understand until basically I started thinking about this subject, however, an hour ago. And as I thought about it, I realised how important that routine was to be coming in every day. And it was never, I'm going to come in tomorrow morning to practice blah. It was never that. It was just, I'm coming in tomorrow morning to play drums. That was it. It was a given. And then once you're in there, you go, right, what do I need to practice? Something for a lesson maybe, no doubt, on the day, because I'm useless when it comes to practicing things for lessons. I probably shouldn't even be saying that, but it's true. Or whether it was learning a song, or whether it was just messing around, or, being creative, or maybe I had seen something on a video somewhere, like a DVD or a VHS, and I was like, oh my gosh, Reese, look, I learnt this thing and we should play this. And, or maybe it was getting together a drum duo. We used to do these performances, these drum duos. Anyway, the point is that it was 2 hours every day that we just played, and whatever was happening, whatever we actually had to focus on became the focus of that hour, but that hour wasn't being done for the focus of that thing. It was the other way around. The hour was just being done, regardless of what we were playing. So I think this is the thing that really managed to make us propel ourselves quite quickly. Aside from the fact that we were together, I think that was a big part of being able to kind of up our game a lot quicker. I think you do kind of try and get better and better if there's someone next to you, but I think having that routine was a massive part of it, where it was just like, the time is there, we are here, let's play. And I really didn't understand that at the time. I really took it for granted, and then everything else was a bonus, whether that was like doing gigs or doing rehearsals or wherever else, or other extra practice time outside of school later on when I got a drum kit. Maybe at home I would do some practice. But yeah, routine, it turned out, was a really big thing. And when I was just reflecting on this, when I left school at 18, I had a period of time, probably between 18 and, I want to say 23, 24, something around that. I found it, in fact, it was probably later than that, I found it incredibly difficult to have focus, to progress, to just find my way and where I wanted to be in my career. I suffered with bouts of depression, actually I shouldn't say that because I wasn't clinically diagnosed, but feelings like that. I felt very down, I felt very unmotivated, I felt very hopeless, and a lot of the time I would have moments of just going, maybe this isn't for me, maybe I shouldn't be playing the drums, maybe I'm not good enough, maybe whatever. And eventually I would come back from it because I would speak to someone or something would happen, it would be fine. But day to day was very difficult, and to the point that I just didn't know what to focus on, so I focused on nothing. I focused on procrastination. I was very, very good at that. Very good at that. But actually, looking back, the reason that I was finding it so hard was not having a routine. I mean, don't get me wrong, occasionally I would get into these spells of having a routine, but usually it was centered around if there was a gig happening. So say when I got the call for the Cher Lloyd tour, I knew that I had 2 weeks before the rehearsal started, so every day I would allocate a certain amount of time to doing practice, and then I would do an hour of exercise, and then I would do, I don't know, an hour of something else random, something I have no idea. I can't even remember. I can barely remember yesterday. My by the way, that's just a memory thing. That's not oh, does she do lots of drugs, or is she does she drink? No. It's my memory is horrendous. It's very embarrassing. Anyway, but the point was, every time I had a gig, I had a routine because I had a focus. And in the last 7 years, I've really embraced that. It's taken time. It isn't like one day I went, right, I'm going to have a routine. It was gradual. It was a gradual realization of, actually, that works for me. And I'm not saying that this is the only way. I never am. You know me. I'm always just saying this is just what works for me, and it might work for you. It might not, but try it out, see what works. And I always remember when I was in my 20s, my dad would always say, you need a routine. What is it? Structure and discipline. That's what he would say. Structure and discipline. And I'd be like, oh, shut up. Doing a proper Kevin and Perry thing. And turns out, as he often is, so annoying, he was right. He is right. So, structure and discipline. No, that sounds so intense. Routine. that is everything to me. Like I say, I've been doing it very consistently over the past 2-3 years, I suppose. But what this means is I can concentrate on what I need to. Like today is a drummer's guide to day for me. That's what today is. In fairness, I did do a bit of practice this morning, just for like an hour, and that was for the Voice Kids. But that's because the Voice Kids is coming up, so I know that the first hour of my day is doing that, because it's the closest crocodile to the boat, as my husband would say. So I do that, and it sets me up for the day. I feel like, yeah, cool, I've achieved something. I'm a little further forward than I was yesterday in that situation. So awesome. Today is going to be all about A Drummer's Guide 2. Wicked. I know that today I'm going to film 4 or 5, I think it's 5. I don't even know. See, this is what I mean. It's just routine. I have no idea. I think it's 5 episodes I'm going to film today, which means that also I can take the audio from that, which means that if you're listening to this on the podcast, this is the podcast episode. So there you go. That's 2 strands of my professional life. A month's worth of that is being done right now as you're watching me do this, even though this is going to come out 3 weeks, I think, after I've actually filmed it. So that's my Drummer's Guide 2 for this month. Then tomorrow I'm going to be doing more free drum stems. So tomorrow I'm literally just going to set up I'm always set up, aren't I? Set up on my record. I'm going to open Logic on my template, and I'm going to record 4 or 5 drum stem packs, and that's a month worth of drum stem packs. That's 2 days out of my month. So but equally I will still be doing my Voice Kids practice in the morning, because I need to do that, because that's the closest. But that's how I do it. And then everything has a purpose, everything has a goal, because I'm no good at doing things for the sake of it. I'm not sure that anyone is. Maybe you are, and kudos to you if you are, but I can't. I need to have a purpose. I know that by doing these videos, I'm hopefully going to help someone. And if it's just one person, I'm happy. This is worth my time. This is worth the effort. This is everything. I love it. Like, that is why I do these videos. So that's why I do that. Drum Stem Club. I want to be helping artists that can't afford to have real drums recorded on their music. This way they can get real drums. Yeah, they're not bespoke, but at least they can do something with them. At least, you know, people can practice mixing with them, and just get an idea of what a professional kind of set of drum stems or multi-tracks looks like. They can mess around with it. You know, it can become something else creative, which is a beautiful thing. To be able to give that to people is amazing. Equally, another day I'll be working on emilydrums.com, implementing systems and stuff like that to make sure that it's running smoothly, or even smoother, quicker, or more effectively. More importantly, that's what I'm about, effectiveness. And it doesn't even need to be just about, you know, business side of stuff, business, or, you know, your career per se. I do the same thing for exercise. So after I've filmed all these videos, I don't think I'm going to edit them today, just because I think time wise, yeah, I'm not going to edit them today. But I know that once I've finished filming these, I'm going to go and work out for an hour, because that's just what I do. And then I'm going to have lunch, and then I'm going to go for a walk, because at the moment, part of my routine to be kinder to myself, because I think we should all be kinder to ourselves, is to just take time to go out and think and chill and be with nature. I probably will listen to an audiobook, a business book, which kind of goes against what I'm saying, but at the same time I enjoy it so much that that's my story and I'm sticking to it. No, but I just love being out and walking and getting to think about things and listen to other people's opinions on stuff and their experiences with stuff. So that's my day. And then I will come back, and then I will cook some dinner, and then I will have dinner with my husband, and then we will chill. That's my routine for the day. That's my routine for most weekdays. And to be honest, when I have a day off, like at weekends, when I don't have, I mean, I will have some sort of routine in terms of like exercise and stuff, but I get a little bit lost if I don't have some sort of routine. And I'm not saying that you need to be as intense as I am with it. It's just my personality, and I've found what works and what doesn't for me. In fact, let me rephrase. I'm still finding what works and what doesn't, but I've found the best way so far for me. And that might change depending on the gig and whatever else is going on in life. You don't need to be as regimented as my obsessive nature, as I'm sure you've gotten used to now, but you can have a routine with flexibility within that. So for instance, say you were going to do 2 hours a day of practice, right? 1 hour can be a very regimented thing, but you can do 1 hour of literal whatever you want, just as long as you're hitting something. Even if it's hitting a single snare drum in an hour, who cares? Because you might get something else from it. It might be like thinking time, or I don't know what it might be. Same with exercise. It doesn't need to be a specific thing. Like I say, going for a walk. That's not like a particularly specific thing. It's pretty chill. And is it exercise? It's more for my mental health, that thing. Anyway, but maybe look into it. Just look into getting a routine. See what works, see what doesn't for you. It might not work for you, but it turns out is incredibly important for me, and to get the things done that I need to get done. It means that I focus on single things at one time. It means that I'm able to work towards goals, even down to things like social media, which I know a lot of people are so overwhelmed with, and I totally get it. And I get overwhelmed to the point that I have to step back. But I do have systems in place. And part of my routine every week is to spend an hour, 1 hour every week, and I just set up all the posts for the week. And then I don't need to think about it. But each one of those posts has a purpose, because they're all part of my routine, if that makes sense. They have their own routine. Oh, it's all getting very routine with a routine. I'm going to stop because I'm confusing myself. So I'm imagining that you're sitting there going, Emily, I have no idea what you're talking about. So I apologize, but just try a routine thing, even if it's like a routine that lasts for 1 hour a day, literally. So you have your breakfast and then you have an hour of something, or 20 minutes of something, or 20 minutes of that, and then 20 minutes of that, and then 20 minutes of that. Whatever it is you want to do, just try it and see. And you might feel rubbish for it. You might be like, oh, I hate this. Cool, try something else. Or you might say, ooh, that was quite good. I feel like I accomplished something, and to know that your time is kind of mapped out, and therefore you can think ahead. Like my whole month is mapped out in what I'm doing when. You want to know the reason that I'm doing these videos today? Because yesterday I got my hair cut. Yep, that's the reason. But it's been in my diary for about a month, so this was happening. The end, and here we are. And on that note, I'm going to love you. I'm going to leave you. I hope that you're having a wonderful day wherever you are, wherever you're up to. I will be back next week with another subject. And if you have any questions or anything you'd like me to talk about in a future video, please leave them in the comments. Also, do all the subscribing things and all that. It really helps just to know that this is getting out there to people. And the same if you want to share it with people that might benefit from this. I'd really appreciate that too, because I'm just all about getting out information and starting a conversation. Did that rhyme? I feel like it almost did. Anyway, I'm gonna go. I think I need to lie down. No, I don't. I'm gonna do another video. All right. I will see you next week. Lots of love to you. See you soon. Bye.